Check the baby too. Check. Let's wait a second. Give it a second. See if what happens here. Welcome to the author 3000. Welcome to the author 3000 broadcast. No, I'm just kidding. But so I had this concept a long time ago. I was like, after I was talking to my dad, and my father told me that we were related to Arthur, I was like, yeah, whatever, no way. But as time goes on, one of my sisters took a DNA test and it came back like high levels of Welsh, right? But I know I have Irish and Swedish as well. So I'm like, what's up with that? So now you have the Arthurian possible connection, right? And the Irish king lines I have. I don't care. I'm just open because I already know that access to those records is available. All you got to do is have the person's name and you start charting back, whatever. So, aside from the point. So I'm like, okay, next connection. Born on Bridget's Day. Huh. Like connections to the Welsh Lou. Huh? Because that's the original. As far as I know, might have been different archetypal kings in different areas. And then the research I did on the Chinese master, who was 256 years old, right? You saw that video posting. And so now I started to wonder. Remember, I hinted at immortals before. And of course, if you're a wealthy billionaire, what else is there to get but immortality? Essentially, being able to regenerate your body back to its prime. Now, is that 20 years old? No. Check it. I had a female or a woman that was my voice coach. Her name was Rebecca. I can't remember her last name right now, but anyway, for the sake of discussion, her name was Rebecca. So she was awesome. And she told me, she said that your voice does not fully mature until you are age 30. So I was like, let's think about that for a second, right? Because that's 10 years of experience on top of 20, right? So more experience means maturity also, and strengthening and all of that. But that was interesting. Your voice will change some, as you get older. But for the most part, you listen to somebody like Willie Nelson or, people that haven't, and they still sound pretty similar for a long, long time. And I was thinking about sound, like music being related to opening up portals. All right. That is why chanting was always involved. Now, if that is timed with star alignments and you are on some kind of a nexus point of energy, it may be possible in an alchemical process to transform your body to a lighter density. Does this make sense? Or to create a wormhole effect. And I started to wonder if it was possible to resonate a stone with energy and sound. Now, if you have a standing stone that has crystal infused in it, that crystal has memory. What are they using in computers, right? So I feel like when you say something just like it's recorded on the internet, what if there's some kind of core brain of the earth, like the heart of the mountain type of thing, except much bigger? Okay. And if they drill into that and disturb the heart of the earth, what happens? You hear? So it gets to the point where is it injecting technology to the point where it becomes like Transformers or something, where the planet becomes mechanized and it's no longer like really a living organism. And so I was hearing about this kind of paint that they could spray on trees, and it had an RFID signature. So all they had to do is shoot a field of energy into that area, right? And they could pick up sound, and they can see you through electromagnetic waves, see you sitting right where you are. That's a fact. So no different than, say, for basic discussion radar, but more advanced computation. So imagine, I don't have any of this, but someone could direct a radio frequency at a specific area of your body by tuning into your nerves. Okay? Possibility. I'm just for discussion. Such as, sensitive areas. Play, your heart, your whatever. And people would say a pacemaker are shielded. You'd think they would be at more risk. Nope. Now it depends on how heavy the wave was. But I would think their heart would have gotten stronger because people like that, they have a weak heart nerve. Okay. So that is why they have to have the pacemaker to give extra juice to the nerve. So I would think over time, possibly, that the nerve might get stronger. I don't know. Unless it was in a codependent relationship. So this is a good example of a rant I could go on that. It's like having to have a pacemaker versus a functional heart. Okay. So for me, physical health means mental, emotional balance. So it's like, I already expect to be trashed and disclaimed for admitting that I was in a mental facility for a week, right? Not for being violent, for being naked in my backyard. But that was not the only thing. And that didn't have anything to do with anything nasty or interfering with anyone else. It's by myself. Okay? No weapon, nothing like that. Just sitting on the ground, meditating. But that's what I was trying to do, to ground myself and calm myself down, because I was that upset. Okay. So you go through a series of tearing things down and then rebuilding, and that is life. And that is the base principle of creation and destruction. And you have to have both in order to build something new, like a fractal dividing, right? So as I described the sky when I was tripping, right, back to the rainbow gathering, I'm looking up now. This has nothing to do with being gay, whatever. It's a bunch of hippies, okay? Lots of pagans, people like that. You're like, oh, it's hippies, make fun of hippies. Okay, there is more pound for pound earth and hippie at a rainbow gathering than almost anywhere else. It is total tribal. This is why I know. I've lived it. And it was awesome. 30,000 people. A complete, freaking town, city. It was so cool. So everyone was cool. There was not one bitch ass in the whole goddamn gathering. No popo, no issues. Now, flash forward. Steamboat Springs, Colorado. There's a gathering there. Okay. So I headed up there. I was going to go. Anyway, I stopped in Boulder. And on the strip, Boulder's pretty cool. Boulder, Colorado. And it's a college town. Sorry. It's a college town. And as you walk down the strip, there's like different bars. So I went into one. We had to go see bands, whatever, you know. I decided to stay in town and not go to Steamboat Springs. But why? Well, they had fucking SWAT, goddamn, you know, cops going through there and nerve gassing people. And so they came in and they nerve gassed people in the kids area. Now that's when it really hit the fan, because it's like, why are you nerve gassing children? You know, anyway, shit happens. So flash forward, the hippies are getting, you know, arrested and shit and whatever. So I'll go back and like, okay, Earth Jam, 1999. I was working security, all right? It's a big pagan fest, you know, Earth Goddess concert that we do that we're doing every year at Liberty Park for like several years. I don't know how old it is now, like over 20 years or something. So I go way back. And I remember, for instance, one year we had a maypole, and myself and some witches put that up in the center of our field. And you're like, oh, that doesn't happen. Yeah, it happened here. And it was a big pole. Those ladies were all about it. To them, that was huge. Big deal. Big deal to me, too. To help. And what that signified was sanctifying the land. You had priestesses there. It doesn't matter. It's symbolic. You know what I'm saying? So, especially being in conservative Utah, holy shit. I almost pinched myself the first time I saw that. And I'm like, did that just happen? Wow. And, you know, because it was powerful. The feeling of just knowing. I knew what the significance was even back then. And it was pretty awesome. Anyway, we would patrol to make sure nobody got into the shops, because you would have people set up with booths around the perimeter. And when I would tour and squire, you would always see that right as you go down the strip. Anyway, rainbow gathering. Now, if I think about it, okay, forest fire. That's what I was remembering, because it was a long trip back into the trip. So it's nighttime, right? And, you know, everything passes. Morning comes. And so, like, we had a scare for a fire earlier. Okay. And there's some dry overhanging branches on some of the trees. So you have to be careful that you do not put your campfire under dry branches. No shit. But there are some dumb shits out there, okay? Anyway. So that got put out. I got headed over there to help, you know, you get a shovel, right? Throw dirt on it and maybe a hatchet to, you know, chop wood off or something, try to put it out. So first time somebody had already gotten over there and put it out. Now, second time, dipshits did the same thing. They lit it under a branch. Now, that caused a forest fire. So, I am now, I didn't mention this, buck naked, peeking on acid. Oh, yes. No clothes. And now, at this point, I am one with the earth. And if you think I am joking, no. So at one point, I mean, I sit down, I meditate, focus, and I look at my body, but my eyes are closed, and I'm visualizing that I have almost like mud scales on me, like I am soil. And in that realization, like I am base mineral. Wow. But you are folk soul memory as well, specifically. That's where the uniqueness comes in, even down to the individual family, right? And so I will be Robert F. Stevens or Robin I. Woodstone forever. Now, I do have woods in my family. wood specifically, without the S. So I'm like, what's going on with this? My dad knew something. It's layered, like an archetypal meaning, and then they leave crumbs for you to find. That's my dad's sense of humor, because he knows I'll be inquisitive. It's like, you can ask me, but you have to look. And that was the whole point, is that he said, you must earn your knowledge. I will give you a few hints, but you got to do your own pie chart for your own family. And that is why I emphasize, maybe a possible business I could do is doing genealogical books for people and doing research. But guess what? I need help, but I do it. I have a laser printer. I can make covers with nice engraved art on it, right? You can design your custom piece. You scan that in, right? And then that can be printed on a piece of wood, walnut, oak, whatever. How cool would that be? Oak, right? So I expect that idea could be ripped off, but not with folk soul. If the person doing that is true-hearted, you are receiving true-hearted positive energy. Now that is important to me, on top of the whole, achieving the goal and the business. But primarily, the folk soul has to be the core. And if that is not there, you do not do business with that person, right? I can't mass produce. That would be a specialized thing, because wood is not cheap. All right. And having that equipment is not cheap either. But you go to that person, you say, okay, this is what I have. And I know someone that has that, they can make it. And prototype, whatever. That's what it is. It will laser burn print the image on the wood. It will either do 3D, right? Or just a surface. So it doesn't, what the idea is the laser doesn't burn as deep. So on the piece of pine, because my neighbor cut down my favorite tree, I'm like, no, that's my favorite pine tree. The birds would hang out in it, and I would hear them sing every morning, whatever. So he wanted a new driveway. So he cut my favorite tree down. I'm like, ah. So I found a little piece of it, and I'm like, oh, save this. So I took it to that person, and I'm like, okay, you put some art on this for me as, a keepsake, because I really like that tree. And it became like a sacred piece to me. So anyway, I think I have it. Now here it is. But this is more raw, but I kind of like that. So let's see if I can get some light on it. That is 3D. All right. You can see it better with more light. This is like, over here is like a Viking dude. It's hard to see, but we'll see this side. But it's dark. Anyway, this is an example of the deeper burn and this is pine. So pine burns easier. The harder the wood, probably the better the image, possibly. Depends. But I was like, okay, just go for it. Now, over here, I have Tesla. I have Tesla in his lab. It's like the little spinning wheel, to give you an idea. But in the center, that is Bridget, Goddess Bridget. And she is holding a book. All right. And she has a halo of folk soul light. See that circle around her head. And to me, seeing a lack of representation, saying in Christianity, Mormonism, whatever, as the goddess being equal rather than submissive to the male principle, because there's two different levels. Women are alphas here, and generally men are alphas there, right? But both have alpha principles. And so through the equilibrium of balance, you have multiplication of folk soul light. thus creating children, life, love, and everything else, because that is the pure intention. And that is what most people miss. And so they live false intention and deception and wonder why they have conflict and, unhealth in their body. And so to be healthy, emotional, mental balance and self-analysis are important, right? Especially for communication. If I say someone tells me you're hurting my feelings, right? And I don't respond, or rather they say, I feel hurt when you do this. That's like something my mom would tell me, right? Through communications. And that you learn, instead of the whole blame and point, to say, okay, I can calmly address this. So if I was to approach, say, a discriminatory concept against, let's say, a friend or whatever that I didn't agree with, because a work situation I'll refer to as, I was working with a gentleman who was bullying a lady who I worked with, who was my friend. All right. And she's small. She's like, 100 pounds. No, she was recovering from meth use. So she went to do temp jobs. So I supported that. And she was staying off the shit. So it's like, here she is detoxing, busting her ass. And she was a badass employee aside from that. And I just made a decision. And he's berating her in front of the whole group, right? We had to move these 1,000-pound walls that slide on rollers inside the salt palace, because I worked on the events team back in the 2000s. All right. After my first squiring troop, and then the next year, I ended up traveling with a different troop. All right. That was that Big Bear show, the last one. Anyway, Utah Ren Fair this year. I don't know. Maybe the trolls will show up. They'll be like, BOBCAT's there. Let's get him for enjoying his life. I'm like, he likes himself. I hate you. Okay. You're like, and what was I talking about? No. Senta. Lou of the long arm, long arm, long arm. You're like, as the bird doth fly, fly. As the bird doth fly. Oh, weird. Ooh. Uh-huh. Testing, baby. I don't know. You know what's cool about tuners? It's hard with the headphones. It's more of a challenge for me to tune this way, but I'm attempting. Ooh. But definitely better with this mic. I can hear 100 times better. Have you ever heard the song by The Cure, The Same Deep Waters as You? Or, let's see, Fascination Street, Forest. So many good songs. I saw them live here. That was cool at the Curiosa festival. And growing up, I'm going to switch instruments, but to my classical. But growing up, The Cure was one of the central goth bands. We used to call Robert Smith the Goth King. He was like the elf king, you know what I mean? Like when you see him when he was young, the chicks were all over him. Like the goth chicks, oh my God, they'd freak out about Robert Smith. But I mean, he's gained weight, but he still has an amazing voice. He has never lost his ability to sing. So when I would dance, I would sing along to the songs. And it got to the point where I could literally sing loud enough to get over the sound system. I'm not joking. So I could, I'm not trying to show off. It's just that I could project like that. So much practice, breathing. Plus with dancing, you're taking deeper breaths. Thus, more power behind resonance in your vocals, right? But not to make your voice rough by screaming. I mean, like actual resonance. And so as the rule goes, by dancing and breathing, and then like you're using either diaphragm, right, lungs, or they're up here. And I cannot listen to nasal. So I either have to speak from the chest or the diaphragm. You're like, it depends on the sound. No matter what, it just sounds trippy as shit. You know what I mean? Like, have I gotten used to the effects? No, I'm still tripping out on it. I'm like, wow. And okay, back to the full trip. So this is what I didn't say earlier. Now, I get back up after sitting on the ground and I have turned to soil, right? I'm back to like normal looking at my hand. I've shifted back. But that's what I saw, visualized. Like it was real. No joke. I had become fused with the earth. And so I look up after that. I'm running through, I'm jumping over bushes. I'm still naked at this point. Not to the bottom, but I'm running through the field and I've got trees on either side of me. And then way at the far end, there's more trees on that edge. But it's a big open field, so it's huge. And I'm seeing planes coming overhead and they're dropping that red sand, right, to put the fires out. I might also add a friend of mine who was a hot shots firefighter. And so they used to helicopter him into areas and drop him in, right? And those guys are freaking hardcore. Anyway, that didn't happen, but the planes were dropping sand. So I look up, and what I saw, and I don't know if it was real or not, was a giant mothership. No, I'm not joking. You could say I was tripping, whatever. But I was thinking, what if the frequency of my brain waves changing due to tripping allowed me to see what I would be normally cloaked to my vision? Does that make sense? I don't know. We'll just say that as a possibility. But it was gigantic. And it was over the top of the area, just floating there, transparent. But I could kind of see the outside of a saucer shape, but kind of, have you ever seen the, what is it, the something of the Navigator? It's an old Disney movie, but kind of multi-layered like that. It didn't change form or anything, but you know, only saw that once. Now, eventually I run into a friend of mine. Now here's the funny part. And he's like, hey, Robert, you might want to put some clothes on. I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, there's some folks down there. He said, we don't really care, but you know, we want to keep you safe. And I said, yeah, hell yeah, where's the shit? Because I had come back down enough to listen instead of just run like a feral animal, which is what happened. I went primal. I swear that's like, oh, negative took over. Oh my God. Okay. Ancient self woke up. That's why I wondered, because of the fact that that bloodline is universal versus Rhesus positive is not. So I'm like, wow. Because I've heard the other propaganda that kind of says, well, we don't have sulfur or something here. I'm like, what? Anyway, minerals, levels, and degrees. But it's definitely memory. So anyway, there are, okay, hillbilly overalls hanging on a tree to the right of us. I'm on his left. So he goes over, he goes, hey, bro, put these on. So they are slightly oversized, and that is all I have. I have no shoes. I have no shirt. I have overalls. Okay. I get to the bottom. At this point, I'm still freaked out because there's a goddamn forest fire going on around me. I see water, like a giant pool of water at the bottom of the field, like a little tiny pond or whatever. So I decide for personal safety that I'm going to go, get in the pond. And that's what you would do, is try to get near a water source to protect you from fire, right? And so it was fine. And they got the fire out, came down, made it home safe. So I went there with a really good friend of mine. He was the one that actually taught me at a young age how to tune guitar, and you know what I mean. I was like 16, going to the coffee shop, and they'd have open mic, right? It was a local coffee place called Java Jive. Okay. So when you walk in there, the bar for the old school coffee shit, cappuccino, all that shit, and like tea, whatever you want. So the bar is solid wood, and I mean fucking thick shit like this, And so there was a lady that owned it, and we called her Mom, and it was cool. And it was so extremely folkish. So the more years that have gone by, at the time I didn't think about it, but this was back in the early 90s, right, in Utah. But that was such an awesome experience. I always talk about it because it's like the foundation of a scene, right? Of a group of people joining together and being like, we love music. And it was all acoustic. I don't think I ever saw an electric there, not one time. Trippy. And I was like, okay, wood everything when you walk in there. I mean, wood floors, wood bar, including, the paneling or whatever. So they used to do sit down role playing there, right? So this is before video games were supreme. And I mean, you could add arcade games. Okay. That's what we did. We went to the arcade because that's where the good shit was. Oh my God, I have too many stories. You're like, I know. So I've been in denial of being Robin Hood, and my dad left too many trails to mess with me. But even when I was young, I immediately identified with Robin Hood, to even more of an extent that I knew that Robert was connected to Robin instinctively. But my dad would have, told me that anyway. You read fantasy novels and you find out Longfellow, Goodfellow, whatever it is. So what is it? Robin Hood and let's say King Arthur. What if they're the same principle or archetype? They're kind of are, because to me, Robin Hood is really an extension of the king of the green wood, right? Because the male principle generally is out roaming. Where let's say you've got 5 young children, or I don't know, whatever, maybe not that many, but you get the point. One, doesn't matter. You might not want to be out roaming with your baby. And then you would have other extended family to kind of watch camp while, he would go out and hunt or whatever, whatever it is. But really, in the ancient, we would have been running wild in the woods anyway. At least I would think so. And so I have experienced that, and it was interesting too, that prior to that, I had seen that the woman in the circle go wild and just wow, and not get in trouble, nothing. So another time, I'm at Liberty Park, okay, drum circle, and separate time years later, and this a lady was tripping her shit, and she just decided to start running buck naked around the park. Well, out in the middle of nowhere, you could probably get away with that, right? No one would give a shit. You just run around till you chilled out. But so they're chasing her around, and they're throwing a blanket on her to try to cover her as she's running around. And she's just busting their shit and running away, and she's getting away. And so similar to kind of what happened to me, not that bad, not like that. No, I was in buck naked running around the yard, whatever. I was sitting down at the time. Anyway, so I have no filter. And they show up and pick her up, and of course they take her off, and probably made her detox and, whatever. But that was 2 separate incidences, okay, of how a situation could be handled, all right? Such as if I tell the officer, hey, you're hurting my wrist, he's not in danger. I have no weapon, right? Why do you need to cut off circulation and damage nerves? Yes, I get nerve damage on my wrist from the handcuff. Now I healed it, but temporarily it messed my hand up, not to mention my shoulder getting wrenched because he was a huge, big gorilla dude, right? So you tell them, so here's the choice. First of all, have self-control. You don't need to be a goddamn pit bull, right? I've worked security. You don't have to hurt people. You can subdue without doing, you try to limit damage if possible, depending on how bad the situation is. But if, like, they're not trained and you're dealing with somebody with a mental issue, you need to have sensitivity training. Okay, for instance, you are dealing with an autistic that is easily triggered emotionally, right? So I have a female friend who happens to be a very good singer. I'm not going to say what her name is, but she is autistic. She is amazing, but she sings like old Irish folk songs. That's her favorite. She's kind of like Sinead O'Connor. You know what I mean? She even has a shaved head like her. It's like her favorite singer. So, but she had an anxiety issue to where heavy breathing and difficulties, you know what I'm saying? And that is something where people online have almost zero sensitivity to realize somebody with a health issue And definition is putting their health at risk. Seriously. And that is negligence on the behalf of the author writing the defamation toward the character of that individual. Did you hear how I just talked? That's how you deal with it. So I would say the sun wheel being used as a weapon too, because ancient origin, for one, multiple cultures have used that wheel. You know, but if you assign villain qualities to whatever, you know, certain things, like if you're going to cover history and there's sensitive subjects, you would say, all right, here's the deal. I do not hate this people. I do not like the actions of what they have done. This is the history. Here is the evidence, right? Instead of blame and name call. That leads to libel. What I read in that article was it would be accustomed to defamation and libel of someone's character. And so if I see that style of writing, I know immediately that is not a true journalist. Because a true journalist goes to the source root and has the intelligence to go speak to that person, unless it is a media hit job. Now, is that blunt enough? I think it is. And then I don't need to name anybody's name. I just look at the behavior and I go, okay, this is my opinion. I myself grew up in an international community. What's that mean? I had friends from all over the world. All right. Now, I have my direct line to what my bloodlines are, and I am loyal to that. Yes. But I do not hate someone else for them having different bloodlines than me, for instance, or a different hue of skin tone or hair, whatever. Who gives a shit? I am liberal. I like myself. Okay? That's what I've decided instead of being depressed. I'm interested in folk cultures. That's what I say. So anyway, my friend was from Africa, and he was very tribal. His mom was cool, and she used to make spicy fish and rice, and I'd go over there, and he would be all, come in and eat. Very friendly like that, you know, it's cool. And he had he had one younger brother and then two older brothers. And so his oldest brother was the battalion commander of the JROTC unit I was in the first year in high school. And so we ended up getting first place in drill that year or whatever for excellence. So he was highly disciplined. And I met his dad once. And his dad made Sidney Poitier look wimpy. Just the look was just like, you know, it's a just, I don't know, hyper masculine to the just, whoa. It was like, I don't know if have you ever seen the movie Shaka Zulu? All right. When he's on the ship and they've gotten him, and he's a king, right? And he rips the chains off. He shatters them, right? And fights his way out. Now, eventually he dies at the end, and like the queen takes over, whatever, but just that kind of presence. And then I had a friend from Korea. I had a friend who was Navajo full blood. I have regular, you know, European, you know, white friends, whatever. I had a mulatto friend. His mom was white. His dad was black. So what? People make choices in life. I don't have to do that. If I want to marry someone that looks like me, that's my choice. But I will not walk around and go, you do this and point fingers. I don't give a shit. Go do your own shit. You know, make your own choice. That's how I look at it. Anything other than that, and you get into sparking fights, discrimination, feelings being hurt. And then it just creates war. So why go around starting fires? It's stupid. State opinion, yes, and position. Base it on fact. Don't get irrational. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to cover a sensitive subject, do not mention it willy-nilly, because that shows lack of depth and preparation, which leaves you open to what? If you're going to play a chess game and you do that, what happens? Your moves are predictable. I don't have to say these things, but if I see an action that could be corrected, like what if that person realized that that was a really nasty thing to do and took the article down permanently? Because you know why? It's the first thing you see when you look up that person's name. Is propaganda trashing their reputation. What did I just say? I ain't playing. You notice? I'm going there. And I just did. Because I am Robin I.O. Woodstone. Blood and Bone I.O. Ever heard anybody say that? Probably not. So that's just an intellectual opinion, right? That is my perspective. And so I, for having my own opinion and perspective, do not deserve to be attacked, right? And that is why I cut the trolls off when they came to my channel. Every single video, for no reason, 3 dislikes showed up. And then I looked on the other person's channel, the same trolls. You know what I'm saying? So paying attention to those patterns, and I pay attention. I have all day to notice shit. Ooh. So that's why I've gotten to the point where I'm like cautious to even go to the Ren Fair. I'm like, oh, some jackass will just track me down. You're racist. You're like, are you stupid? Just leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go to somebody's cultural event and then trash them at their own cultural event. That is rude. Never. And if, say, they have international festivals here, you know, sometimes different types of world music from those specific ethnic countries, different kinds. I think I saw Samantha Fish here. She's blues, right? She's of European descent, right? Probably similar to my background, probably Nordic and, you know, whatever her mix is, I don't know. But she's an amazing musician. The point is, she captains that band. You want to see somebody with her shit together, there you go. She's got her own label. So you could, let's say you're a writer, you could do a similar thing. And so through a team, you can make a heritage book, right? And then, but for me, I'm not making that just for anyone. See, that's part of my folk soul and heart's flame, that it has to be pure intention. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. It's like mass producing it for somebody that would use it for a negative, let's say, magical purpose. It's for a pure purpose, and that is to remember your family. And the reason that that is so crucial and visceral to me is my father passed away, okay? And he was a researcher of the highest level, very advanced. His whole life, that's what he did, right? And then I find this book years, you know, after he died, and I kept it as something to remember my father by. So instead of getting trapped in sorrow and negativity, I say, how can I remember, and then now use that trigger as fuel to accelerate me into creating a positive memory, tone, and signature. Anyway, that's my thoughts. The rant, huh? Bobcat rant 55. What should I do? Coming up. Oh shit. I'm at 70. Is that too loud? What should I do? If I should change the sound effect, then push thumbs up when I get, I'll go through them. And I'll let you choose what sound effect I put it on. Sound good? Deal? Come on. Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to read it off. We have up here delay, reverb, delay chorus. We have vibrant tone. That's like right. Okay. Pure chorus. Delay, echo, hall, and room. So delay, reverb. No. Okay. Should I switch down and show you? Okay, fine. Make me show you. All right. Delay, reverb, baby. What do you think? No chorus though. No? Okay. Okay, coming up. Back to delay chorus, baby. That's pretty cool. Huh? All right. Now, vibratone on the mix. I don't know. Sound like a goat. Okay. Coming up. Now, pure chorus. Now, keep in mind, I have dual channels. So I can put one effect on one side and then another effect on the other side, right? So 2 channels like this. So you guys switch it up and down the dial. So a little dot will go up to whatever the sound effect is. Come on. Don't leave. Okay. Echo. No. Echo, baby. One more for the show. Yeah. That sounds kind of old school, huh? Like 50s shit. Okay. No. Up to hall. Walk on down the hall. No? You're not going to tell me. You're just like, hey, come on. Oh, indecisive, are you? Are you? Come on. Oh, yes. You're like, this guy's crazy. It's just a DVR. Yes. I'm just kidding. Okay, fine. Back to delay chorus. Or should I just do straight chorus? Yeah. One more on the show. All right, fine. Just chorus. No delay? No delay. Huh. All right. The heroes. First, a drink. You're like, you have completely peeled out Bobcat. I know. I'm there. It's like, I think I have a stack of law books that's, one of them's like this thick. Very heavy. I saved every single one of those. But has some complex shit. You got to research every case you do. Am I a lawyer? No. I am only discussing my perspective on law and defamation as well as libel. So that is a lawsuit offense. I'm just as a discussion intellectually. Okay, that's it. Not directed specifically at anyone really, but because I did not see I don't know if there was a name claiming anything on that. It's like an anonymous little ninja article I saw. Anyway, the person knows who they are. I know. The heroes. Okay, let's see. Take these off. Be more comfortable. Can you even see me? Kind of, huh? The lamp behind me is out. But it's kind of nice because it's blinding almost behind, I noticed. I was looking. All right. We might very easily have called this book The Age of Heroes. That's kind of cool. Which is in any case a far more appropriate name for the Arthurian period than, say, the Dark Ages. Arthur's men were all heroes, and we possess remarkably detailed lists. I have to get the light on it so I can see. Lists of them and their special skills, rather like the characters in modern role-playing games. Interesting. Cool. 1987. What a trip. Or was it 86? Hold on, wait a second. I think it was 87. I have to know now. I'm that type of person. I just go straight to the details. They're like, ADD, not really, just reference, just making sure. Yes, I'm right. It is 1987 original. Okay, fire. Okay. In modern role-playing games, each one has certain attributes which mark him out as unique. Let's see. In Kolic and Olwyn, Kai, the Sir Kay, Sir Kay of later Arthurian stories is said to be able to hold his breath. Wow. For 9 days. Note the number 9, right? Associated with Odin, the world tree, whatever, Norse reference. Possible. But also multiple reference as in divisible by 3. So if you have 333, that ends up to be 9, right? So 3 times 9 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. What did I just say? Okay. And nights underwater. And to be able to go without sleep for as long. Wow. People at one point, there might have been warriors that were that tough. And it is possible that the degradation in tribes worldwide due to modern culture could have degraded and devolved that far. And that is why my theory is possibly we have devolved as a civilization due to possible, who knows, abuse of technology. Look at modern reality, what is happening. Okay. So he could go without sleep for 9 days. Got it? He could also be as tall as the tallest tree and generate such heat that even when it rained, listen, no one who stood near him would get wet. Whoa. Now, have you heard tales about giants? Okay. There's tales about giants being hunted, who knows? 12, 15 foot, or even taller, 30 feet. What, is it possible? Yes. With a higher, richer oxygen content, whatever, who knows? Something in the area that could cause them to grow larger. I don't know. But I'm going to say it's possible. And so this sounds more like the description of a god, right? Before we dismiss such characteristics, you know what else trips me out? Is I kind of had this waking vision of like a gigantic being, like grandfather waking up at the bottom of the ocean and coming up out of a cavern. And then, like, he would literally be able to, he would be that big. And there'd be shit growing, hanging off of him, you know what I mean? And he's just like, whoosh, whoosh, walking through the ocean, that big. And I don't know. And so I kind of envisioned myself with a mohawk and two swords and a shield or something, you know, full armor, maybe just armor and two swords. And I would spin like an IO principle. You got it? Circle round. Huh? Why is that a central principle that people miss? That is your central personal boundary, bubble, circle, whatever. Proprioception, ability to sense yourself in space. Now, if you, I was imagining I was standing on his shoulder, the size I am now, but I would be like this big, you know, or something compared to how big he would be. And then we would save the world, of course. Indestructible warrior. That'd be cool. Before we dismiss such characteristics as merely fictitious or mythical, let us not forget that it is only a step from having keen sight or being able to run swiftly. I need a drink. To being able to see things happening miles away or to run faster. What is that implying? Telepathy, psychic ability. The ability to sense things from a distance. Pinpoint. Okay? Happening miles away, to run faster than the wind itself. So if you were totally in tune with, say, the planetary soul, or whatever you want to say, the spirit of the land, that power might come to your aid if you are true-hearted. But if you are not true-hearted and not the true king, it will not. And so it goes dormant until the true king arrives, right? But the true king has to be true-hearted. That does not mean you continually sacrifice the true-hearted king. The only way you can have a truly true-hearted king is for him to be invincible and unkillable. Did you hear what I just said? You cannot be able to destroy the power. Just like I said with the planet of the bulbous, they cannot be stopped. They are primal power. It's hard for most people to conceive that. I can conceive it easily. Okay? Just saying, my opinion. Behind such attributes lie hidden the bravery, courage, this is about Hearth's flame, and resourcefulness, which characterized the men who followed Arthur, or, as I'm inserting, the true king with a true heart. Okay? Or queen, or both. And who gave us, ultimately, the legendary world of Camelot, with its magnificent chivalry, or virtue, and its own gallery of heroic denizens. On the following pages, where we found a list numbering some 200 names, drawn from early Welsh genealogical tracts. Awesome. Warrior lists in such literary works as Kullak and Olwen, Ronabee's Dream, and a remarkable 15th century Welsh document known as the 24 Knights of Arthur's Court. Quotations from which have provided us with chapter headings throughout this. Okay, so here we go. They're showing the genealogical charts. So I'll show you that. So this would be
kind of a simplified version.
Real close.
Okay, so
Now,
now,
all right, baby.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
so that is actually showing Lou at the top. No, Lucius, but I don't know about that. But Lou's at the top, and you had different spellings. Remember, the Welsh spelling would be what, like double L and then WCH. So that's Luick, not Lou, not Lucifer. No, I don't know. Just thinking. Why would this comparison overlay be happening when that's more linked with Freemasonic philosophy? You catch what I'm saying? Now, arguing for or against, this is something that's worth arguing to me. Now, also, Loth is in the line. So Lothlorien. Now, Lancelot Duloc, right? Or Deluc, whatever, but it's LAC. Now, Lancior of Ireland. They're showing different lines. Now, Lamfada. And then on either side, Lambar, and the other side, Lawnfall. But I find that interesting to see. So this is interesting. Listen, the descent of Lancelot from Lou. So now, Celtic romance and Arthurian literature. There is your overwrite. Lancelot is Lou. But what did they do to the character? They almost made him a traitor. So now in the classic, Lou is the supreme Mac Daddy Supreme. He's a goddamn, king, warrior. He's romantic. He's good at everything. Why flip the script and then have him being in conflict with Arthur by sleeping with Guinevere, right? And so what does that also do? It defiles her. So that is defiling true love. Is that intentional? Think. The core of folk soul is true love. I keep emphasizing that. It's a fact. Lord of Truffle Digger. Interesting. So the title of Lord, right? And then that being transferred into the Bible using that word, or laird, Laird, associated. Let's see. But you start seeing Latin overwrite, you know that shit's getting changed, and that's not the original language. So what would it even sound like? It's not accurate. Now, think back to say, what is the original ancient root language that there isn't, say, a record of, possibly? Well, don't you think it would be based on the vowels possible to make and the sounds that come out of your mouth, such as, there's different resonant sounds that are primal. And each group would have like a folk soul memory heart song, and that is a language, right? That is the core memory of your people, their heart song. That is why pure intention must be there, or you will never receive it. You can copy the technical, but you cannot copy true-heartedness. And that is the core. The family of Arthur. Okay. The ancestry of Arthur. So this is going into the Welsh lines of Arthur. Arianwen. Does that sound familiar? Arianwen. Carillion and Gwynlig. That sounds similar almost to Guinevere, but I'm not going to go that far to draw that connection. But you never know what's possible. Well, somebody knows. Okay. Ooh. So here it has Guithir with Uthir instead of a U, Uthir, you have Uthir with a Y. So Guithir, but it's spelled over on the other side. That's parentheses on the right of Guithir, Thyr. Got it? So Gwenwyfar, okay. Gwenhwy, far, right? FAR, equals Arthur. Interesting. That those names are now more similar when they are in Welsh. Huh. So moving along. Ooh, Morgan. Or let's see, Athwee. That's hard to read. Atherwees. Huh? Ooh, Broadwen. But that's where I start looking for like the Morrigan or something similar to that, but in Welsh. All right. The original Knights of Arthur. The Celts loved lists. I'm going to get a drink. The Celts loved lists and have left sufficient of them to enable us to identify many of the characteristics who move in. Let's see. Need light. Who moved in the Arthurian sphere of action, or who were at the very least active at the time. Just as we can turn to the crew lists in Homer, so there's your Roman or Greek, whatever, Greek. Or the genealogies of Ireland. So can we find amid the compilations of names, places, islands, cities, and marvels, the names and styles, sometimes even the ancestry of the Arthurian warriors, tradition, some of it is ancient, I have to say it like that, though dating in written form from medieval times or later, assigns 24 knights to Arthur's court. So that would be like a double zodiac, right? 12 and 12. Also, 2 plus 4 is 6. 1 plus 3, 1 plus 2 is 3. Yes, that's how it reduces within numerology. Thank you very much. Thanks. Reduction. These are listed in several texts and referred to throughout Welsh literary sources. In Colic and Olwen, this list becomes expanded to the number of 250, often duplicating itself in order to do so. Examination of the MSS of works like these demonstrates how names were sometimes added. Here we go. Override. To fill in, let's see, Lucanae, Lacunae, between the bottom of one column and the top of another. Once these have been deleted, along with the others of suspect, provenance. This is why they got rid of the names of the god, because it removes provenance, and the sovereignty of the land marked by dedication to the gods or the ancestors or the heroes, etc. That's me adding. The names of gods, for example, or names deriving from later continental sources, which have been Celticized, together with obviously folkloric elements. It is possible to arrive at a list which may, with reasonable. Next page, easy on the breeze. It'll be easy to take care of my book. All right, so we have some more flow charts. Ooh, this is getting interesting. They're getting into like pagan mythology charts practically here. Family charts. That's cool. What is this? Glory Walt here. Something. All right. The ancestry. Ooh, interesting. The ancestry and descendants of Vortigern. Ooh, so that's his. He had a Welsh line. So that would give him reason to challenge the Welsh Arthur for his lands and have what? The two dragons battle each other. But wasn't it the white dragon versus the red dragon? I don't know. Anyway. And then the flip-flop on the red dragon, you got what I'm saying? Overright. All right. Certainly, be said to constitute the warriors who rode with Arthur. While these must not be taken to be true in any obvious sense, there is, we maintain, an element of reality to be glimpsed behind the typical Celtic hyperbole. So H, hyper, B-O-L-E. Alrighty. Present in all such heroic lists that this is by no means solely the provenance of ancient times. We have only the look of Geoffrey of Monmouth's Historia Regum Britanniae. Now, did you notice that? Latin override, baby. Be well. Where the list of guests in attendance at the coronation of Arthur and Guinevere, which seemingly nonsensical, when examined, reveals some surprising details after listing the various kings and dignitaries who attend. Geoffrey adds, I love to say that, Geoffrey. There's just something about it. Have you seen Geoffrey? It's like this extra pompousness I have to add to it. I'm sorry. Okay. No, I'm not. Now, more interesting. So we have the ancestry and descendants of Vortigern, for one. Now, we have the family of Lear on the other side, on the other chart. King Lear, sound familiar? Right? Some of whom appear in the lists on pages 144, 148. Okay, now. Rolling down. So again, the family of Lear and the ancestry and descendants of Vortigern. In addition to these great leaders, there came other famous men of equal importance. Let's see, Donaut, D-O-N-A-U-T, right? Oh my God. Mapapo. No, I'm not joking. That's how they spell it. Sorry. M-A-P-P-A-P-O. Oh my God. Okay, Kineas, Map Coil, whatever, it goes up in all these names. I'm not going to read all of them. Sorry. Ooh, here we go. So here's some old school, looks like coins. Celtic warrior from a 1st century coin. This is the first one. I'll show you the picture. Just give me a second. The second coin down below that is a war chariot from a 1st century coin size, maybe different coins or two different sides, whatever. So on that one, the horse has 8 legs. No, it's no. It looks like 8, but overlaid, but it's 2 horses. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't notice the head above, it would look like that. Now, there's a warrior standing on the chariot. Now, you remember that book, The Third Eye? It was describing the Tibetan monks, whatever, standing on top of horses and balancing while shooting, like doing archery, shooting arrows, and being able to balance. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show you the coins. See how close. Okay. I don't know if you can see them. Anyway, there's a valley next to it. There we go. Nice picture there. Ooh. Yeah. No. Oh. Okay, now I feel better. One has only to look at the king's list. That's what we read. Now we come down. Certain names, such as Peredur, Percival, and Gorloit, that's Gorloitt, or Gorlois, whatever, are already familiar. Others may have been simply taken over from a totally non-Arthurian king list. So you see, that's where you have interpolation. Joseph Atwell talks about that in Caesar's Messiah, which I've watched several times. Anyway, it was very informative. I'm like, yes, this makes sense. All propaganda. Yes, of course. Multi-layered. All right. Copying the folk stories and then twisting it. I know. The importance of its appearance in Geoffrey's text is that it shows that such lists were still current, and that a compilation of the members of Arthur's court was considered to be not unusual. Now remember, they said 24 knights, the list, as late as 12th century European literary tradition. A point which we must not neglect is precisely the high preponderance of Celtic names amongst the lists quoted. This may signify that the majority of Arthur's supporters were of Celtic national stock on the borderlands, or it may simply mean that originally Romanized names have been Celticized by subsequent writers. So what did they start doing? Calling the Roman heroes the Celtic heroes. Do we see how this worked? Gallo-Roman, getting the hint yet? Latin override. Robert took Latin in high school, so I know. Not like I'm an expert, you know, I took 1 year of Latin. So I'm familiar, that's all I'm saying, not an expert. All right? Celticized by subsequent writers. What writers? Okay? Question. Either way, we are not saying that this is an exact roster of Arthur's warriors, merely that within the sphere, here it is again, those two words connected, of Romano-British, that's the issue, Latin override, again. Heroic warrior class. See, our that's keynote. Heroic warrior class was overwritten. The sovereignty and connection to the land was attacked by overlaying the tribal heroes and gods. Are we seeing reality? Welcome to the kingship or the queenship or the captain, whatever it is. Steer the ship. Your heart is your compass and your navigator. That is why you need to be in tune emotionally. Emotional intelligence is generally faster than anything else. It is base instinct, like lightning when in tune, 100% accurate. Anyway, this kind of figure would have been present at the time and placed under review. Some we know to have had historical existence, and these are indicated in the lists. Much still remains to be done, which is outside the scope of the present work before a more accurate and precise list of the people of the 6th century Britain is fully revealed. The warriors of Arthur. That's the beginning of the next article in the book. Alrighty? A list compiled from original sources. This is below the heading of the warriors of Arthur. Parentheses. A list compiled from original sources, including Colic and Olwen, The Dream of Ronneby, The 24 Nights of Arthur's Court, The Welsh Triads. Remember, I've discussed the Welsh Triads before. If you're paying attention, I don't know. I don't assume many people are. Okay. And Welsh genealogical tracts. Names indicated with an asterisk are known historical personages. So if I see that, I know that that's associated. Where these are known, all right? Versus the meaning of names or epitaphs are given in brackets after the name. I mean, versus fan is like like in a story. Versus there's a historical record, something you found. Anyway, to prove that person existed at a certain time. The term AP means son of. Okay, that's interesting. AP, I've never heard of that. I've heard MAC. MAC means son of. O is ancestor of, right? So if I have O Dylan, that means I'm the ancestor of Dylan. So that could be used for either woman or man, but you still have the son of, but say in Nordic languages or Swedish, you would have something indicating a feminine quality to the name. Anyway, because there's a bunch of people here listed. Tamer of enemies. That's what one of the names means. Gradol. Let's see. Goldofeed. Something like that. Interesting. Okay. Go through here. App. So there's an app. Hubert App Der. So son of Der. Interesting. The Irishman, possibly. Curori Mac Der. There you go. Son of. There's your Mac. Right? No. Let's see. So that picture I showed you is Pumparless Bridge, Glastonbury, Somerset. Alrighty. Local tradition tells that it was at this spot that Bedwyr, Arthur's last surviving warrior, threw the magical sword. So what if Bedwyr is Arthur? See what I'm saying? Add another character, turning attention away from the original. I don't know. There's your answerer again. Excalibur. Right? There's Lou again. Light of our folk. Has nothing to do with Latin. Okay. Thank you. Back into the water whence it had come. But the Catholic Church overwrote with Latin. That is what they pushed everywhere. That was their shit. Their decree. And they only read, the Bible was only read in Latin. Dominus Sancti, whatever their bullshit is, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. Oh, wow. It's a huge list of names. Anyway, I'm not going to go on all that shit. Here's some armor. Oh, yeah. And we used to make armor. Not like that. That is more Roman style as far as I know, but it is plated, so it's hinged and you can move in it easier. Here's a mask. You've seen that one guy. From this channel, you will recognize this mask. Now, I don't listen to that person's channel, but you will know who that is once I show this to you. I'm gonna laugh. Okay, here we go. I know. Sneaky bobcats, sneakies, sneaky links, you know. It is believed that this helmet from the Sutton Hoo ship burial is actually Celtic, looted from a dead warrior and buried. See, it was taken as a trophy with his Saxon opponent. Interesting. Okay. It is thus possible that this kind of helmet was still being worn by the warriors of Arthur's time. That is Welsh. Wow. Recognize somebody using that picture. Right? That is not Roman. Look at that fine work. Now you think of the torques, remember? Our people were fine metal workers. Who does BOBCAT come from? Core root, baby. And I know it. So it's not a point of arrogance. It's like, I am that. Oh, no, you're not. Yes, I am. Reading through this extraordinary list, several things become apparent. One is the extreme normality of many of the epithets, whatever. The clumsy, the generous, rich in cattle, the deceitful, the unsmiling, boar's beard. These are the recognizable characteristics of real people. Others, like the red cutter, cup bearer. There's your chalice again. There is your goddess representation, and there is your IO principle. Thank you very much, sovereignty and fertility of the land. Chewing on my face. All right. Servant. And give us a picture of the status and position held by many of these people. I know, I'm being like that on purpose. I know, it's funny. Another example is the fact that whole families, that of Lacy, Lane of Caerdolbin, for example, and sometimes several generations fought alongside Arthur. Right. So you have now generational family warrior line connections. Are we seeing what happened? They broke the rites of passage, stole our skills, took our art, and claimed it as their own shit, and then turned it into a goddamn joke. So I take it personal and say they are they who did it. Individuals. No, like blaming one group necessarily, because you have elites making moves, and that's a handful of people making choices, and they are responsible and accountable for those decisions. Just as if, say, you were, which I am not, I do not claim that, but if you were a SEAL team leader, you are responsible for your team. Do you hear? Or you ain't shit. And that's it. Honor or nothing. Period. Demonstrating the duration of his leadership and the strong ties of loyalty he inspired. There it is. True-heartedness, inspiring loyalty. I wonder how that works. Pure intention, soul light, unity. I don't know. Common sense. All this and much more can be learned from a careful study of the names of authors, warriors. Oh shit. Now we're going to start getting into something really interesting. Bobcat's favorite, of course. Merlin and the Druids. Ha! A druidic connection. A Welsh connection. Core root, what's the language? One name is significantly absent from the list of Arthur's followers and supporters. Perhaps because this particular figure is not a warrior, although he does serve as an advisor in military matters. But I also consider there were, Druid kings. And they would have had like all three levels. The healing aspect, right? The bardic aspect, and the warrior aspect. Although he does serve as an advisor in military matters, that's showing that he is in a place of wisdom, making decisions and leadership on equal level with the king or above. Throughout several Arthurian campaigns, right? Yet despite extensive connections in fiction between the magician, Merlin, and the legendary King Arthur from the romances, Roman, of the Middle Ages right up to the modern film Excalibur. Wow. Directed by John Borman. Now, I'm going to note, this is really personal, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is tripping me out right now. Everything has led me to this. So the night before my dad died, Excalibur, that movie was playing. And there was just a vibe. Like it was time. I didn't know. I'm glad I didn't quite know that was coming. But I found my dad the next morning. So that is very significant to me. Okay. So that's why this is very visceral. This is not a game of trying to make money or trash people or reputations or arguments. This is about something that is special, right? Something I can feel good about that will boost my self-esteem versus feeling like you are worthless, right? Big difference. The earliest sources, such as the Warriors lists, do not connect. Here we go. The two best-known characters, Merlin comes before Arthur in Geoffrey of Monmouth's Historia. Latin override. A fact which may add support to the idea that he is also Ambrosius. Latin override. Or Aurelianus. Okay. Another. See chapter 2. Okay, so it'll go into those names in chapter 2. And though he helps in Arthur's begetting, he does not act as a court advisor or mentor. But the image of the sage or magician guiding the development of the young king is so enduring and potent that it deserves, here we go, examination in the light, folk, soul, light, knowledge, wisdom, right? Of our knowledge of Celtic culture. There were well-defined relationships between kings and druids. That's because they were druid kings. Catch it? They were all studied. That's where they separated it. The warlords split from the wisdom, took advantage of having the tactical knowledge and earth science skills and abused it. Took out the true-hearted. It is always that way. They target the hero every time. And usually through the foolishness of the people, they lose the true king. Hearing? Or the, you know what I mean? The true-hearted, because they don't value that. They value the gold. So it isn't bad to survive, but it is bad when you put that over wisdom and you're sacrificing innocence for gain. Then that's a problem. Okay? Well-defined relationships between kings and druids, which are echoed in the legends accumulated round the historical Arthur and the historical Merlin. We know from classical sources, so here they go. Why are the sources always Roman? And that is the first thing you see, and that becomes the authority. Why do they, who slaughtered our people, have any authority to say shit about us? Yes, I take it personal. Very personal. But it's the sources we have. And like on a soul level, that is like visceral to me. You know what I mean? Not to fly off the handle. I say it like that with an emotional passion and emphasis to emphasize the emotion that is internal that I feel about that. That druids were the highest order of priesthood in Celtic society. Brehon law again. Three basic orders, here we go, of druid were known. And although this division changed after Roman invasions, that is when Brehon law got attacked and women started losing their rights. Prior to that, women had a lot of rights in Druidic culture. Just saying. I'm talking ancient, not the modern advent. After Roman invasions, here we go, and was further altered with the advent of Christianity. Kaboom, gauntlet drop. It was retained as late as the 6th century in Wales. What did my dad say? 5th century, my family, right? I'm not the only one. But we don't have anything left. You hear? Because they took it. And you let them kill with a true heart. And if you allow that, then you are not worthy. And you must hold the flame that is the true heart within yourself to be worthy, and that is all that will pass before your grandparents, before your ancestors, because that is true love. Not war, not destruction, not arrogance. And was further altered with the advent of Christianity. Again, Rome, overright. The anointed king, sovereignty of the land, overright. Retained as late as the 6th century in Wales, and much later in Ireland. I have Irish descent as well. The three orders were druids, knowers, or judges that controlled the law. Vatis, or seers. Also, I would note this. Bards, or olums, fillies, were originally associated with being seers, whether they are men or women. Singers of praise. That is rising the folk soul power of that entire group of tribes interrelated, but it's one big tribe, just like my dad explained to me with the Irish and Scottish, which I have both of those, and Welsh. The Vates were also associated with battle frenzy. Now remember, Finn Macual, what was he known for? Battle frenzy. Why did they attack that caste? Because we were powerful and scary. Because we fought with emotion. And the inspiration of warriors. See? That is what they did not want. Inspiration of warriors. But not just warriors, inspiration, period. Healers, pick something, arts, whatever. Because then it makes you prominent on the land. Got it? And then you can hold the land. And if they want to take the land, then they attack what makes you strong. And that's your inspiration. That's your heart's flame. Kaboom. Why did I keep saying that? No one listens, Well, let me tell you more, if you will. Tradition which is curiously inverted in the legends of Merlin being driven wild with grief and horror at a great battle on the Scottish borders. Borderlands? Borderland tribes. This triple system with certain minor alterations persisted into medieval times in Ireland. And the term bard was retained for many centuries in Wales. The Lombard tribe? Connection. Possible. Absorbing the other two functions to a certain extent during the 5th and 6th century. Bam. There was apparently an upsurge of bardic poetry in Wales at exactly, holy shit, the time when the historical Arthur flourished during the Roman period. Oh my God. Whoa. That's when they took our shit and murdered them. Do I take that very personally? Yeah. I take that real personal. I guess I survived. That is how I feel. It is not a joke. It is not entertainment. That shit is brutal. You gotta feel the emotional aspect. Visualize it. What would that even be like? Walking around seeing the most wise among you murdered and slaughtered. The whole building trashed. Everything taken over. Women taken into slavery. Men dead on the street. Whatever. If you were old, you're done. They can't use you for shit. Because they don't value wisdom. See how that works? During the 5th and 6th century, there was apparently an upsurge of bardic poetry in Wales. At exactly the time when the historical Arthur flourished. But the original is Welsh. Not Romanized during the Roman period. However, Druids were forbidden by the Empire, that's Rome, as disruptive nationalist priests. Wow. something very unusual in the atmosphere of imperial religious tolerance. See, my dad, in my opinion, was a druid to the core. And that's how he raised me. This oppression, and he based it on the ancient, not modern advent bullshit. For real. An attempted destruction of Druidism was equaled only a comparison by the destruction of the temple at Jerusalem. Now, Jerusalem was the central headquarters of the Knights Templar. Just saying. The Dome of the Rock had housed them, right? Okay. And then you had the Germanic or Teutonic warriors that were kind of pressured into joining them, or they joined them eventually. That's the elite warrior class being taken over. Once that happens, it's game over. You got nobody left to fight. Anyway. So that's happening. Now that is a trip. So simultaneously, you have the destruction of Druidism, and somehow the temple at Jerusalem going down. Well, what's up? Who's writing the history? All right, I don't know. Just for discussion's sake. An expedition was led, here's your Roman guy, by Suetonius. Interesting last name. Paulinus. Paul. Against the Druid College. Paul. Oh my God. Oh, bitch asses. Here we go. Against the Druid College or Sanctuary on the island of Anglesey, North Wales. Where am I from? Here. As late as AD 61. In the context of the traditions of Arthur and Merlin, we have to consider the post-Roman revival of a barely suppressed system in which wisdom, here, remember, suppressed system, overlay, through what? Warlords, not wisdom, in which wisdom, prophecy, and poetry originally, kabam, associated with pagan religion, are related to the government of the land. In short, the role of the Druid was to advise the king, and originally to mediate between divine powers, and mortals. That's why they had to be eliminated, because they were a direct link. They were like, have you ever heard of like the priestesses could sing certain songs and make boils appear on people's skin? They could take over your nervous system. They were that powerful. Certain songs and chants. They ain't playing back then. They're pulling primal power, soul, light. Here, the Druidic association with the land of Britain is strong. Breton, right? We would be related there. Breton, tribe, language, connection to land. Again. Caesar stated, De Bello Gallico, Latin override, that it was the original and primal home of Druidism. Interesting. Now, they may be honest about certain things, but they will omit other parts of history. you are only getting one version of history. So I say you should always have a opposite argument. Maybe that's not the reality. Could it possibly be this as an alternative view? The system of dissemination of the wisdom, druids, knowledge or foreknowledge, vates, that's clairvoyance, and music and verse, bards, here it is, was disrupted. No, it was fucking annihilated. Sorry. Try not to swear. By the Roman Empire. And virtually obliterated in gold. See, they took our gold mines, 400 gold mines in Gaul. And they had wasted their money, waging campaigns, greedily destroying tribes. And it was the traitors and those without true heart that allowed it to happen. And that is just reality. So why should the true-hearted innocents constantly be sacrificed? How high will that get before whatever the power is says no more? Right? Just saying. I'm saying like soul light, some kind of like giant super vulva. You can't stop her. Uber cannot be destroyed. Aura of the sun, pure energy. Did you get it? If that shit comes, that is it. And I hope it does. Won't hurt anything that's innocent. Only what is destroying life. Yet it remained and fragmented. That's me adding. That's my fragmented thought, right? No, that's my rant. Yet it remained and fragmented, an underground form in the west, the north, and of course, as a whole system in Ireland, which was never invaded by the Romans. By the 5th or 6th century, Welsh poets called bards were beginning to write down traditional oral verses. This is where they got changed because it wasn't oral anymore. You used to have it memorized, and if you didn't have it, you didn't have it. Just like if there was a war, this is me on a tangent, and you haven't memorized certain things that you love that are your favorite stories, you don't have it. There it is. But if you memorized it, you got it. No matter where you go. Even if you're buck naked on the battlefield, you got it. You create new praise poems, laments, that's keening. And to define genealogies, that was the big one that got attacked. So where are our genealogy heart songs? That's where you find it. Get the Latin out of the Welsh. The most famous names in the Bardic Revival, or the first phase of literate bardism emerging from the oral tradition, that they're always putting script over oral tradition that is the ancient. That's like the teenager telling grandpa to shut up. Excuse me. Oh, let's see. Our Taliesin, to whom a number of poems. I'm saying Taliesin was a real poet. They have turned it into a silly game, and that is not reality. It's a very serious situation. Poems and legends or tales are attached. And Merlin, in two possible forms, are historical personae, meaning that there are several persons that could be associated. Now, also consider that could have been a title. As my dad has explained to me, names can be. So, Geoffrey of Monmouth, writing in the middle of the 12th century. So this is origin of the name Merlin. Now we're getting to the core. Geoffrey of Monmouth, writing in the middle of the 12th century, seems to have combined there's the override. Combined a legendary, here it is, Myrdin Emrys, Myrdin-Emrys, Myrdin Emrys. With the historical, here we go, Myrdin, remember Op, right, son of, Morfrin, or here comes the Latin override, Merlin Celadonius. What's up with that shit? All of a sudden he shapeshifted. What happened? Paul must have been involved with that. Huh. To whom some extent poems are attributed, and who seems to have been a contemporary of Arthur. Geoffrey combined traditions of both Myrdin's, changing the name to Merlinus. Do you see this shit? Merlinus for his Norman audience. Bitches. Ooh. Charlemagne bitch-assness. Huh. Possibly to avoid ridicule at this similarity or the feudal bitch-assness of the Latinization of our Celtic people. Hello. Come on down. No, the Welsh. Between the Welsh name and the word Myrde, M-E-R-D-E, which means, oh my God, look what they fucking did. Excrement. Bitch. Oh my God. They took our sacred name and turned it to shit. God damn it. But Mer can also be associated with the water as well. So anyway. Although Merlin Emrys is a purely magical character. Now remember, the root word of magic is magi. If you are not a magi, then you are not practicing magic. Magi had to do with a specific people's tradition. You are using folk soul light. Huh? Something. What are you? Question. Character. He is associated with King Vortigern, the usurper, who ruled shortly before Ambrosius, Uther, and Arthur. Remember Volva, how they changed it with a U? That's significant instead of an O. Huh. I-O. Wonder why O is goddess? Oh, never mind. Go back to sleep. Merlin Celadonius, the wild poet. There is Robin Hood. Right there. Bam. The wild poet. That's what they wanted to get rid of. Why am I nervous? That's why. They don't want the truth. They don't want you knowing your family lines. Because then you can build. And you become a threat because you're self-sufficient, not codependent. See? Seems to have been contemporary with Arthur. They always try this contemporary comparison for the overwrite of our heroes and gods. here, and kings,
Kings,
queens, whoever. But they're especially the sovereignty goddess of the land. But to do this play of it, calling it excrement. Damn. But there is no proof of any connection between the two. See? But they lead you to feel there is. And you know the Latinized version, but you don't know the original. See how that works. Thus, we have basic proof that the bards and poetic chroniclers were active in the 6th century or earlier. Both. See, this is where I come from. This is my lineage. My dad was a singer too. That's right. He was in choirs. Both as singers of praises and laments. I've never had professional training. I had a little bit in college. Not much. One class. But that was way later on. I'd already learned that through meditation, vocal toning, you know what I'm saying? And I had to drop classes, so I ended up dropping out. I didn't finish that. And with overtones of magic and prophecy. This proof comes not merely from later statements of tradition, but from actual literature composed by such bards. Right? The traditional prophecies of Merlin. Restated, yes, this Jeffrey Monmouth thing I'm having issue with. I feel he did a lot of damage and overwrite. It's good they continued the stories, but each royal family wants it kind of curtailed to them. Sorry. So it shapeshifts according to who's in power, right? Vortigern. Also. Anyway. Here it is. They represent the development of the arts among Celtic people. Such tradition persists well into the 18th century in many regions. Both, you're clear, as oral verse. Anyway, my voice. And as the more diffuse phenomenon of the second sight. What did I say about the blind bard? He can see, but his eyes are closed. What's he seeing with? His inner eye. It is very likely that Merlin, here it is, was a title. What did I just say? My dad told me all this stuff. Or descriptive name, always associated with prophecy and other magical arts through the use of magic in the popular sense is curiously absent from the early sources that described Merlin. That's spelled with Merlin. But Merlin is directly linked to prophecy and magical arts. Who does that sound like? Lou. And what did they do? They flipped the script so it said excrement. Holy shit. The word mirde, which means excrement. Wow. So, the developed figure of the medieval wizard associated with Arthur has little foundation in the source material up to the 12th century. But after Genry of Monmouth's expansion of the character, more overwrite bitch assness, in my opinion, of course. The Genry Monmouth fans will be like, screw you, I love him, he's my favorite, I lick his ass. Okay, go ahead. He's in a nightstick, he's waiting for you, he's walking down the road. Okay, anyway. Character in his prophecies and life of Merlin. A considerable body of literature developed creating or restating traditions of Merlin advising the ruling Arthur Originally, Merlin prophesied the entire future history of Britain. See that? Encompasses all the seer aspect, you know. Sovereignty of the land was mysteriously connected with the assembly of Stonehenge. Now, if you've heard, it is possible that Stonehenge is extremely ancient, predating to the point where they don't even, it's hard to say who even made it. That's how old it is. Anyway. You're like, but the world's 6,000 years old according to the Bible. You're like, really? All right. Go suck the thumb in the corner. That ain't reality. Not in my opinion. It's a lot older than that. And helped Uther Pendragon to beget Arthur upon the grain. Oh, what is this shit? This is near prima nocte, not the same, but in the overwrite, you have an attack on virtues yet again. Now Arthur is a rapist, right? And Merlin's helping him. And now Murday means excrement. What the hell is going on? From the original, that was sacredness. Do we see what's happening? True love is always challenged to be destroyed by evil, because it will not betray, and it is not greedy. Hint, basics. In Geoffrey's history, Merlin subsequently disappears, though a detailed magical psychology and cosmology revolving around Merlin. Taliesin. See, Taliesin can be associated with Merlin as well. A continual overwrite you are seeing. Huh? They're guiding it into darkness. Huh? The dark wizard versus the folk soul wizard. Big difference. One loves their people and carries the heart's flame. One does not. They carry the flame of greed and destruction. There is no love in that. It is only through fear that they gain power. In my opinion, of course. Sources, let's see. Has no basis in early sources. British culture and times of darkness. Right. Merlin, regardless of his division into more than one possible character, appears as both Vates and Druid. Seer and Druid. First, he is revealed as the wild, there it is, the wild man, the wild poet, the wild prophet. He's all of those. That's what we were originally before all this horse shit. Messing with it. No wonder I am instinctively drawn to it. I'm like, get me out of this modern shithole, please. There is no honor in this bullshit. Why do you think I got so upset? Because I know this. And I feel it instinctively because I am bloodline related. This is not making up some goddamn illusion. My father spent over 40 years, 45 years researching my family. He knew. Not some dipshit talking out of his ass. Somebody who was an intellectual his entire life, dedicated himself to study. My dad was a druid, as far as I'm concerned. Because he memorized. And that's what he expected me to do, and that is how he treated me. And I thank him for that now. The time it seems harsh, but no. He would tell me stuff too, and I'd ask him, But he would send copies of his research all over the world. So it's like, wow. How do you know who you're related to? Once you figure out the interconnectedness, you got it. You could have lines you didn't even know are there. What are you doing? Where is your research? Where is your knowledge of self and family lines? What is your main purpose and focus? Why do you need to have that memorized? So in time of war or any problem, you have it memorized by heart. So if you lose all your shit, you still have it. You have the book, yes, but you memorize it. It's a representation, right? We are the book. Our folk soul memory is our spiritual book. Period. Alrighty? Thank you. Living memory becomes a wise guiding elder. There it is. So they turned him from that to excrement. What the heck? What? You see what I'm saying? That's why I got upset. Who assists the king in a fight against the barbaric enemies. That is where the flip happened. After invasion and theft. It is this clearly, pardon me. I may have to continue this, but we'll see. Druidical role attached to Merlin that suggests that tales of his connection to Arthur are not merely fancy. They are derived. They are derived from traditions reflecting the solid truth of Druids and Celtic culture and their courtly, judicial, educational function. That is what they attacked and shut down. Are going after our top-tier people. In various ways, all tales of Arthur and Merlin partake of the two functions described. The role of the bard or praise singer is never attached to Merlin. Huh. Oh, I wonder why they detached that. Huh. Bard, praise singer. Huh. Praising our heroes and gods, huh? Destroying our sacred sites. Putting their goddamn bullshit on top of them. Yeah. Well. Overlay, overwrite, overbuild. I take it very personal. Yes. To put this picture into a possible historical context, because think about it. That destroyed scores of generations. The continuation of our arts. Imagine where they would be now, if not interrupted. Wow. We may, instead of a joke, right, a plastic, horseshit, cheap-ass joke. We had real trade. We made shit to last. We built it to last, not to break, so you could buy another piece of shit. That's why I buy handmade instruments. It's what it symbolizes to me. You know, it makes it more sacred to me than just saying some machine-operated horse shit. Even though they're using machines, there's still a human hand there making it, forming the wood. To put this picture into a possible historical context, we may reasonably assume that post-Roman, but essentially Druidic practices had some place in the tribal assembly of Arthur, so they kept it there. Overwrite, overlay, Gallo-Roman. There's your overwrite again. Theft of our gold mines, 400 gold mines, torque, fancy weaving, our weaving patterns, our tartans, etc. Theft. And then sold. So our tribal beauty is taken. Right? Our women are sold and enslaved. Now, flash forward. You have the pieces of 8, the Spanish dollar. Oh, shit. Connected. Override, overlay. When did that happen? And when did the blanks come in history? Or a biased viewpoint that our leaders were sacrificing this and that. I'm going to say that was the Romans doing that shit. They're doing the bad shit and then they put it on us. Or then there's the dark side people that are greedy serving warlords. So there's your infiltration. Got it? Poisoning of the well, as I call it. Versus keeping it clean, crystal clear water. That is the crystal cave. the pure memory, without distortion, the all that is, whatever, of our people. For truth is self-existent, right? All leaders, chieftains, kings, even emperors, Roman, Holy Roman Empire, relied heavily upon vaticinal or predictive and magical arts, ranging, here we go, from astrology to divination. Now remember, John Dee was studying mathematics, astrology, and divination, as well as alchemy as his main focus. That continued on, and he was the court advisor to Elizabeth I, override, overlay, direct connection. Thank you very much. He was of Welsh descent, and so was his father. Holy shit. There is the betrayal and the fucking overwrite. Oh, wow. Whoa. Connect that. Both pagan and Christian. Such practices eventually, here it is, devolved into mere superstition. Why? Latin overwrite. Why does BOBCAT not like Latin overwrite? Because it's a red flag for bullshit. Such as, here I need a drink. Such as the mass popular astrology or divination known today. In early cultures, they were a very serious matter indeed. Why? Because they knew that nature had certain patterns observing weather to the point where you might be able to predict an earthquake based on patterns of the sun. Why? Because the sunlight affects weather patterns on the earth. Electromagnetic. Drawn from the most profound philosophies of the pagan, pagan, Celtic, and pagan classical religions. Furthermore, early Christianity did not restrict practices such as astrology and divination. Really? That sounds like appropriation, doesn't it? Which is older, the stars or Christianity? Let me think. Oh, the stars. Which were only frowned upon and eventually banned in later centuries. All right, so the next section is magicians, priests, and spies. I need a break just for a second. That is badass. That is some of the most badass shit I have ever read. Yes! Supports all the shit I was saying. And these guys are no dumb shits. They know what they're doing. And that is what I'm saying. Why do you think I brought up Qigong and, Bruce Lee? Because it's energy. I'm trying to point something out. I happen to have studied energy work. Keep shit to myself because I see dumb shit. And me opening my mouth robs me of my position. Why? Because there is a lack of honor. They steal what you write, they overlay it, and then they twist it for profit. What the hell is the point of putting something sacred in front of somebody who acts like that? Is that clear? Why is BOBCAT different? Because I value the spiritual value of the art over the money every time. And that is why it has potency. So the dipshit without a good heart flame sees that and says, I'll take that, sell it, and give you no credit. Who gave you the right to disrespect that? Would you take a shit in the living room with your grandparents watching? No. Then don't do it to me. That's what I would say to that person. Not pointing at anyone present that's watching the video. I'm just saying, in general, as a view. Yeah, as I said, when I was younger too, I went and got cigarettes, whatever, and smoke. My physical, handwritten poetry that had emotional depth and meaning, visceral meaning, was stolen as an object or material. It's the same bullshit. Dumbass. I wouldn't do that to somebody. That is messed up. And so you see, art became very personal. So I just started memorizing things so it could not be stolen. Why do you think I improvise everything? Sure, you can go through and copy, blah, 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 blah. You're a lame ass. That's what we call the poser if you do that, right? But if you say, learn from someone, and then you add to it, the other person will figure it out, right? I'm a detail person, I notice. I think that's very apparent by this point. Look at this crazy town. I am now at another 2.5 hour video. Just make it so you can last, right? You got to keep yourself interested. That's the key. Are you interested in what you're talking about? If so, most likely somebody else will relate. That's how I feel. Speak from the heart, sing from the heart. And it is a process of opening that channel for me. And it is key and vital to my emotional health. And so I would rather smoke than be nervous consistently all the time. And that's what I started doing as a teenager. Eventually, cigarettes are out. What am I going to do? I think I might ice skate, ride my bike, right? Not just sit back here. This is the main place, but go adventure, right? See if I can shoot live from, I don't know, University of Utah campus. Maybe there's good Wi-Fi. But I have to think like an adventurer. Are you ready to document any given moment that may happen around you? Are you a ninja? I'm a media ninja, right? You know, like, that's why I would want to be some big famous guy. Somebody fucking following you around, popping pictures off. And he took a 2.2 pound dump today, and it's in the goddamn fucking newspaper. Who cares? So I'm in the fringe, and I like it there. And I'm going to stay there. I don't need 1 million followers. That's nuts. That would never happen in regular culture unless you were like some art druid over a huge area. It would, like, you would be known locally, right? But as you gained memory, you gain value because you know genealogy. So that's why the older the person, not like in our society. But in that society, you'd have organic, healthy food, and those old people would have a mind like a vice grip. I mean, holy shit up. Because it's like digging a trench in your mind for memory. And every time you go over something, that trench gets deeper. Therefore, the memory is easier to access. And so if you have trained your mind your entire life to do that, that's how my dad was. So pass that trait to me. Detail oriented. Then you add trauma trigger on top of that. You're talking goddamn multiple warp speed. So my whole life it has been an effort to control that hyperactive, warrior trait. Because I know that got passed to me, and I have, I call it the battle rage, whatever. Maybe not that, but the fire in the head, the passion, the poetic tradition. And my dad passed that on to me. So I thank him for that. That makes me feel better. Rather than, be on here and mope about how sad I am for 3 hours or something. You show emotion, and there's a range of emotion. That is not an act. I was tearing up earlier when I was reading that, just really feeling it viscerally, not to mention remembering my dad affected my mood. But I feel it is better to live from a 100% authentic space than to constantly be concerned that you're not pleasing the crowd. That's a Roman mentality. So my dad would call sports modern gladiatorial games. It's a similar concept. And I spent many years within the oral tradition speaking to my dad. And I remember, right? Versus I read a book about my father. That's way different than say you got transported through ancient time and you're being trained by grandmother Vulva or something. Who knows? The original something or other super powerful being, right? So the only way that, say, the true leader comes is if there is enough, say, folk soul light to raise that power. Not an egregor. No. Nope. True-hearted king. Providence of the land. Yep. Sovereignty. So, what is the choice? I look at it like this. Either true-hearted or you will turn on someone. Just like a vampire. Can't trust a vampire, can you? Nope. I'm going to talk about this. This is interesting to me too. Now, this is a tangent. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay. Think about that and relate it to folk culture. Now, cross-reference Kresnik. All right? And they would have supernatural guardians that would shapeshift into an animal form. Okay. Not demonic. However, in the Buffy the Vampire series, yet again, overlay, remember, turning to the dark side, they flipped the script on the druidic teachings. Now, her power is from a demonic source that is bound to her. Why is that? Instead of, like Willow's a witch, the internal power. But then, what's this satanic church bullshit? Why would that give her any power? That's bullshit too. Whether it is Christian or Satanism, I don't care. They're both bullshit. Come from the same stupid ass source. It's an accuser. That is what Satan means. Okay. So you have a demonic spirit bound to her versus a druidess high priestess that has folk soul light. What has more potency fighting vampires? Now, if say she had the power of the sun, and vampires don't like light, because the folk soul light is true heart that obliterates evil. So that's how I would design my version of what a slayer would be. And so apply that to the planet of the vulvas, where they are basically a aura that is as big as a sun, that is folk soul light, heart's flame, pure love and protection of innocence, protective love. Wow. They would have zero fear. They are that powerful. Nothing can stop them. Now imagine being that powerful and yet being able to say, exist as we do now without needing to use it all. Unless you need to use it, you would just simply kind of compact, multi-dimensional space holding energy. So then it could expand, grow, multiply. Interesting, huh? Just like a plant. Why not? So if you met a being that powerful, you would think that being was a god, and they would be to you. If you were a being that encompassed, say, the entire power of our sun in one being. Oh, wow. Now imagine a sacred warrior or a druidess could call that power. Now, why is intention important? Because she must be 100% love of protection of her people and the sovereignty of the land. Wow. And that makes her unstoppable. That means that even if she dies physically, that energy continues on and cannot be destroyed. But anything that is not 100% heart's flame, 100% love and protection of innocence will not survive. Why would it? It does not promote life. That is not existence. Therefore, it does not exist. Did you hear what I said? These are things I realized as I was having my waking vision. I have been guided to speak about this directly. Now, they could call that a psychosis. I don't think so. Why is it that a Christian gets their viewpoint accepted, but because I am druidic or pagan or skaldic, right? Or I praise Volvas, that now I am considered less. There's your Latin override. So I am saying I have a right to be my own authority and priest. Not some church in the way. That's what Robin Hood was about. He was the wild poet in the wood. And guess what? I am that to the core. It took me a while to accept this reality. I'm like, wow. How can I be what? I am that. Everything in my life is that. How do I explain that to people and have them not think I'm a nutbag? It's that connected. And all that I went through was a rite of passage to move to the next level. Ember and flame. Yes. We hold the flame. So say, even if I smoke, or I do this, or I do that, if I have a heart's flame that is pure, it will live forever. So if I say, finding your match and true love, what am I really saying? That is not death do us part. No. That is we forever. Now, apply that to the folk soul and a greater whole as our whole tribe. If we are honorable, If we hold the heart's flame, we are connected. If we allow corruption, we are not. We are allowing poison to seep into our folk by doing that. So, why is true-heartedness yet again important? And why does BOBCAT say I-O? Huh? Connection, unity, harmony. It's what it symbolizes. Masculine and feminine principles coming together. Goddess and God in unity, in harmony. Now, in my version of reality, grandmother is put on the high seat. And do you know who helps her up? Grandfather. Because he honors her and loves her. And she is the center. Without her, there would be no children. And he knows this. Even with his seed, without her, he can't grow it. Right? And she knows she needs his seed. So she would honor him in the same degree in his woodland, in his power. But she is the master of the crystal cave and the well. That is my instinct, intuition. Everything I've said is that. That is how I live. And so, by willing to lose everything but the heart's flame, I gave it to grandmother goddess. You could say whatever you want. I was that low. And that's what I decided. I told her, you decide. And if you want to save me from falling, you will. And if you don't, then I wasn't true-hearted anyway. You hear? That's serious. And that's where I took it. Now, that's when I had my freak out. After that, my waking vision. After the betrayal. And that's why I ended up in the mental hospital for a week. But that was a rite of passage. And it was important that my heart was to the ground and crushed by the weight of the person on top of me. As my feet hung in the position of where I was sitting to hold my ground, I had to be dragged away. And trust me, it was not fun. Tested me to the core. To the point where I was willing to let go of everything in my life and have nothing. I was taken buck naked to the mental facility. I arrived there with nothing. I have already gone through that. I don't have a soft pillow left to sit on, but I do now, thankfully, because I have family that has heart's flame and loves me. Does that make it perfect? No. But it is necessary. And so this year is me recovering my mental health, organization, center, and then making myself worthy of a woman. Now, on the other flip coin, that woman should be preparing herself already. And where's her intuition? See where I'm coming from. She should be in tune with her heart, and if she is not the match. Nor is he, if his heart is not in tune. So that means if you're flirting with 25 different dudes, you're not tuned into your match. Just as well as he's sleeping around with whoever, he's not tuned in. So in a family situation, once those two are hand-fasted, whatever, that's what I would do. Not this, marriage certificate horse shit. I want to take it old school. Because both of my sisters had private weddings. So that means nobody gathered. So, neither me or my brother are married. So I haven't been able to actually witness that. And that was a big deal to me after seeing 2 divorces. So what I decided was this. I will take as long as it takes to fix myself so that one day, if I do become a father, I will be an excellent father because I will know what it is like to not have help. and know how important teaching is and patience. So if you are not looking at the virtue of the person you are dating, what are you doing? You are creating a recipe for disaster. I lived that. It ruined my high school and derailed me from college. So it's like reality, you know, cause and effect, not blame, finger pointing, whatever. I finally accepted reality, and that was this. The level of abuse my mother sustained damaged her to the point where she allowed that guy in her life out of insecurity, right? But through the rebellion, she eventually, it only lasted 9 months, so it was over. And, you know, here's the interesting part. You get an intuition about a situation that says this is the wrong choice, but insecurity leads you there. Who's leading? What are the influences? What's the energy? What's the vibe? Why is that happening? Right? Person either dominating or manipulating the person into doing what they want in the relationship. Therefore, that person is sacrificing their emotion. And what does that affect? Heart's flame. Yep. Heart's root. Your heart's brain, the emotion in your heart, you shutting off your intuition, allowing yourself to submit to the wrong choice. Intuition, intention, willpower, free choice. All right? And that was key to the kingship. He had to freely choose the responsibility. Piece by piece, step by step, before he could stand in the center of the circle, holding the answer, the sword of truth as it shined. And how do I explain that I viscerally feel this? These are facts. I have no way to explain that to people, in my opinion, from what I feel. And this has revealed what I wanted to know to me. I mean, restated what I already felt, my intuition. And that allowing the override is defiling the origin of my people, and I will not allow that to be in me. Others make their own choices. But this is about reclaiming personal power and value of self versus hating yourself and saying, I am white. No, I am multi-tribal and interconnected. And I and we are ancient in origin. And that is reality. The modern override has zero to do with that. In my opinion, of course. So, the hope is always that the one true king or queen will rise. That both will rise. And the idea is to be your own connection to the higher powers, right? And especially in modern times, because trusting all these new modern Advent people is not a direct link to the ancient path. It's just a buddy group to hang out and feel special. It's a clique. You had to earn your path, and it had to be passed down multi-generationally. And that's what I'm going to say. Wow. Feel very heavy emotion. And I've always had emotions like that, so I've had to control it and balance it and center it. And sometimes just allow it to just flow in the direction it does. If I freeze up, then I'm locking down the creative process. That's why allowing yourself to improvise is key in learning. Allows you to connect dots without putting negative wordplay in the way of what you're not trying to say. Okay. Discussing two sides, all right, well, say what you're wanting to do. Then you are invoking toward achieving that goal. Ooh, that sounded cool. Yeah. Ooh, okay. It's not exactly. I'm kind of tuning it down a little bit. I saw you on the aisle long ago, my love, wise woman of the way, we're the remnants of the ancient way. How the folk song, the light of my people shine, waiting on the borderline, to the other world. Oh, sing a song, chant a chant, circle round. Invocation, do you shine? Goddess and sovereignty is the land of the land. Oh, froggy as I am, I know. Feel it in the stone, light of a folk soul shine, like the ley lines, connecting sacred sites throughout the world. Oh, hey. Ancient are the ways, ancient are the days and nights of old. What can they say? I can feel you from the other realm. Shine, shine, shine. In we, oh, deep down in a folk soul, they said, heart's flame shine. Oh, I can see with my eyes closed, and see into the other realm. Oh, true hard to see. Oh, in the other realm they know. Circle within a circle, they say. Circle within a circle, they say. Wise woman all around me. Wise women in my heart and soul. Deep down I No, I need you forevermore. Interdependent folk soul. I know how deep down in a folk soul memory, floating on the breeze, is a deep down, deep dive, you know. I guess I'm in the other world. Be waiting at the world tree for you to come home to me, my love. Be waiting in the world tree for you to come home, my love. Heart's flame say, oh, if I be a poor man, I better have a potency of a heart song, so I can call true love to me. True love, true love, true love of a folk soul dream. Close my eyes and see, oh, can you feel me now? Say you can. You feel me now, deep down. Robin, I am. Robin, I'm a wild man in the woodland. They be hunting me down, said you wild for the city boy, but I'm a man. Rite of passage on the land, said honor the sovereignty of the land and the goddess for which she stands. She holds a heart's flame, oh, she is the heart's flame, won't you know, waiting over here, up on a hill, right old passage, you know, shining wheel, goddess of sovereignty on the air. Bridget Morgan overhead, goddess of the land, true king with a true heart in hand. Feel it on the wind, so and feel way down. love that guitar. Sounds good. Because wood is always good, baby. Because I got wood in my family tree. Whoop, whoop. No, that's how it is. That's why you got to own up. And you got to measure up. And you got to pull your bootstraps up with folk culture. That's what I think. And the more people that do that, the more that community grows. But it must be true-hearted, and it must not be people trying to shut everybody else down so they can be the biggest dog on the block. It is identifying those that are causing issues, so that are not healthy for the tribe. Just saying. But along the way, they felt a trouble on the wind. Was then they came for slaughter, but there was a victory. Was a folk soul forevermore. Wise women of the way. When they burned them to ashes, they were still a soul. And that's a heart's flame. So those wise women are forever. Oh, hearts of flame. I love the wise women forevermore. 'Cause this grandmother on the way, grandfather said, in the woodland below. Yeah. Because some on the mountain, yeah, is coming out of the cave. Is guarding it. Grandmother deep down in the crystal cave. And the hall of memory, oh, see her on the way. See her on the way. It's way deep down. Wild man and woodland bee. Robin, oh, I am wood and stone. Wood and stone. In the blood and bone, light of the folk song, the sovereignty of the land, goddess, sovereignty of the land. Sword of truth straight to the sky, shining like light, light. Folk soul light. It was way down set. It's easy on the way. You shine in me. Staring at the ground. Tears flowing down. Oh, sorry for my husband, for which you must go. Druidas flee into the woodland. They're coming down. But we will stand here in the woodland bee. Tell me why the trail on the sacred land. Tell me why. Tell me why. Shining we. shall we forevermore. When the woodland be, oh, oh, I feel it on the wind. When the woodland be, oh. Wow. I felt that one deeply. And as I said, this is not entertainment. This is live ritual right now. And I do mean that. Heart's flame. Nothing negative about that. All positive. Nope. So loud, I have to be careful, you know. Neighbors be like, excuse me, to be considerate, you know. Sounds true. I was in the woodland. Strange sounds came round. Was then she came from the mist and cloud. I saw her as she rose. Her feet did not touch the ground. That's weird. I almost want to get more of an etheric feel, but the visualization is that her heart's flame had set her on fire, did not destroy her body. No. Why? Because it is eternal folk soul heart's flame. Love of the tribe forever. Big difference than mansion that is gone when you pass. Your name here is not as important as your name with your folk and ancestors in the eternal hall of folk soul memory. That is forever. And that's why I said, guard your intentions and intuition well. Circle round and thank you. Love my folk and thank you for coming. I really appreciate that. I felt the vibe. Yes. Good vibes. Thank you. Folk soul on the way. Root down, fly high. Root down. That's just here. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. That's what they always say, right? Don't say you're sorry. Correct the behavior. That's what BOBCAT says. Be accountable. I don't know. My hands are so tight from playing guitar. Like I've noticed, sometimes I have to take a break because my fingertips will start stinging as I play every day now. And I've been playing more and more. I feel pretty good, right? Overall. Okay, random turn. What will I turn to? I don't know. Oh, right back to here. Magicians, priests, and spies. The historical Arthur may have been a Celtic Christian. Oh, never mind, overwrite. So we've got it down now, right? Seership. Seers being associated with bards. Genealogical lineages being associated with the musical arts, right? Them as communicators carrying the oral tradition throughout traveling. Bards might also carry messages to kings or other kings as messengers, right? Interesting, huh? All right. I shall return. Root down and fly high. That's what BOBCAT IO says. Robin IO Woodstone. All right. We're not done yet. I just said that. I invoked Robin, so he'd be mad at me if I didn't do something. Okay. To be careful, popped it. Oh, really? I heard that. I heard you. You think I didn't hear, but I heard. Crystal cave. Third eye. Huh? Inner vision, seer. Activating every region of the brain. Oh, that's what music does. You hear me? Could you hear what I was saying? I said Robin I.O., wood and stone. Listen again. Wait. To breathe. Robin I.O., wood and stone. Oh. I've made my best effort. Just saying. Hail our folk and our ancestors, and all that is good. Wood and stone, they say. This comes from a cherry tree. That's wood, and that is stone. That is what you bless with. Did you say? Does that look like gold to you? No. That is life. Both grow. Crystals grow, trees grow, people grow. And water is liquid, crystal, consciousness. Affected by consciousness. That is energy. Thank you. Circle around and fly high. Heart's flame. Love. That is true. That is forever. Robin I.O., Woodstone I.O. BOBCAT on the mountain. Robert F. Stevens in the mix. That's right. Robert F. Stevens in the mix. Thank you, my great and good folk. Whoa!